So welcome back guys in another podcast. Today we have Aman Khamkar. He's working as a web application developer at media.net and he also worked as an intern at HackerRank as a software development engineer. So apart from that, he is also a Smart India Hackathon finalist. So first of all, congratulations Aman for getting placed at media.net. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Omkar. So before actually starting this session, I would like to thank Omkar and his team for reaching out to me, and such kind of session really can help juniors who are preparing for the interview and other folks who are actually going to appear for their upcoming interviews. So yes, and as well, like there were a lot of people who are actually reaching out to me regarding Meta.net process, how the overview, what is the
Uh,
overview and what is the process they follow usually. So yes, this
uh,
session can really help them out, and I'll try my best to give a brief about the process as well as accept the Meta.net. You can also I will try my best to basically give an overview or what should be your approach to crack any company other than Meta.net. So yeah, we'll discuss that as well.
okay. So let's start with the media.net process and timeline. So how it started और क्या क्या राउंड्स थे कैसे कैसे इंटरव्यू का शेड्यूलिंग था या ओवरऑल जो टाइमलाइन था इंटरव्यू सॉरी रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस का सो वो क्या था सो लेट्स डिस्कस दैट ब्रीफली
Yes. So Meta.net has came to our campus in October 2022, and there were three rounds basically. The first is the OA round, and two were the technical rounds, and there was no HR or managerial round for Meta.net. So for the OA round, there were basically MCQs regarding computer fundamentals, and also there were two coding questions. And for getting selected for the next round, you have to solve the both of the coding questions as well. So after which we got a email or a message regarding our first interview, and which is basically scheduled after a week, sorry, after a month, actually in the mid November, I think, yeah, mid November. And that interview went 1 to 1.5 hour, and after a month, the second interview was scheduled in the first week of January 2023. That went as well, about 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. So in the first interview, the questions, like of course, each interview they interviewer asks about yourself, so you need to give a very good introduction about yourself and something that is not included in your resume, right? So that should be unique. And after which he or she, if they are asking you about your projects, then give them an brief or the outline of your project that you have done. So after which they interview have asked me about the coding questions, and it is fully about the DSA questions. Uh, and in the questions, they will basically ask you about they will more over focus on the time complexity and space complexity. So whatever the question may be, you need to figure out what is the time complexity, and you should be starting with the complexity which is a higher, then medium, then what is the optimized way to solve it. So that is something I have followed. And there were two questions, I think, and after which they asked me about the computer fundamentals, like the OS CN based questions. And like the questions such as HTTP or HTTPS, is HTTP is serverless or sorry, stateless or stateful protocol, like that. And as well, like when you type some domain in URL, what is the process that browser follows in the backend, like hold the DNS, how it work and everything. And apart from that, the questions they have asked others is more over on the DP. But don't worry, the DP questions was not that hard. If you are covering the easy to medium level questions of the DP as well, then you are good to go. And the tree, linked list, and array stack use also one should focus for clearing the first interview. And not I will suggest you to not only focus on the DSA but also go with the computer fundamentals, and also give a time to whatever you have developed in those 4 years. and whatever the hackathons you have participated, whatever the achievement that you have received so far. So go through that as well, as this stands very unique in the interview process. And after which the second interview was conducted in the 1st January, as I have said. So that interview also is a technical plus uh, the like basically DSA plus the computer fundamentals or the CQL वगैरह जो भी है, तो वो questions थे. So for me they have asked me about the puzzles. Okay, so puzzles and what is the mathematical approach that one can apply to solve those questions. So it's not like that कि हाँ भाई तुझे A to B जाना है तो तू A to B डायरेक्टली जा सकता है, पर what is the optimized approach to reach to the B, and you'll have to write the pseudocode for both of the interviews. You don't
हाँ
need to compile and run in the code editor. So that is something
हाँ
about the second interview. And except that, yeah, for others, some interviews also ask again about the in-depth DSA, linked list, again the trees and everything. And after which we uh, discuss, like I have asked about what Net does, as I have also my website wherein I have added Google AdSense, so how it works and how basically Net do something differently from the Google AdSense, and
हाँ.
how ad tech works, what is the tech stack they work majorly for doing this, all of the things. So that is something we have discussed, and that went 45 minutes. And after which I got a message that I got selected.
Oh,
Yes.
so yeah. So in the second round, the puzzles are also important, right?
Yeah, puzzles is important. Puzzles such as water jug problem.
हाँ
Like for that, they did not ask me to solve the code from the recursion, but
हाँ
tell me the approach and how do you optimize. And there was one question regarding the buildings, like when one person is throwing egg, then what is the mathematical formula you are applied. Like I don't remember the actual question, but the puzzle based question also one can
okay
expect if they are appearing for their interviews. And they are
okay
basically, if you go to a Google Geeks for Gigs, there is a lot, there is a other section in the GFG where they have
हाँ
mentioned about the puzzles as well. So yeah, you can refer that as well.
okay. So how impactful your projects in your interview? So कितना यूज हुआ प्रोजेक्ट्स जो आपने पूरे इंजीनियरिंग में बनाया या जो भी बनाया?
So I myself was a complete development guy, right? So
हाँ
when I started my journey in the computer, like in the 11th, 12th, I was opted for biology. So I did not have
हाँ
any idea about the computer programming. So I have started exploring the first year. And in the late first year, when the COVID happens, I have done some of the CP or DSA based questions in the HackerRank. But after which I completely switched to the development. So I have
हम्म,
explored various tech stacks, explored various technologies, domains, and
हम्म,
have created or developed various projects. And they
हम्म,
have basically been used by 3 million plus users so far. So that is something
ओ,
that is something development I have done so far. So when I basically whenever I was appearing for any interview, I was basically give them a brief about what is the difficulty that I have faced, and the project that I have developed, which is live, and I was basically showing them like this is a project that I have developed. So what happens is when you show them or give them the idea about your projects, this
हम्म,
impacts very unique, because like I don't know whether you have heard or not, but the assumption of the thing is like the interviewer will judge you in first 5 minutes. Okay, so that five
हम्म,
minutes should be very confident, like you should give the answers very
हाँ
confidently, and the introduction should be very unique. Okay,
हम्म,
so that is something project plays a very vital role. Like for me, first interview for the Net wasn't meet the expectation, but what I
हाँ
think is the project that I've made and gave them a brief idea about the same. That
हाँ
is from that maybe I got selected for the upcoming rounds. So project plays a
ओके
very vital role for the placement journey as well, and for the whenever you join the organization, they will basically never ask you about a DSA. Like you are they have given you a feature and write the code to develop this feature. The time
huh,
complexity came, or the optimization came in a very later stage, right? So
huh,
if you have done some development, then it will be always beneficial for you in the organization when you join. So there are
okay.
people with me who are HD, but they found basically they found difficulties while approaching to the problems, like
Mhm,
to explore the new tech stack. They found a problems with that, but I did not find that.
mhm,
So that is something a development plays a vital role. And regarding the SD, when I done a SD HackerRank, SD at HackerRank,
huh,
they did not ask about the DSA and everything. They
huh,
strictly focus on your resume and what you have built and your open source
mhm,
contribution. So that is something.
okay.
There are a lot of companies who did not ask about the DSA,
Huh,
but they will they will basically give you a task in an interview to develop, and in that the time complexity or the algorithm you have to write. Let's suppose you need to write an API which should
huh,
follow a tree data structure, and it
huh,
should be very optimized. So that is something they will be asking you. So if you are given an interview for startups or other companies as well, so
mhm,
the projects will always play a vital role. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so projects are important.
Yeah.
And so how you prepared your placement for your placement? Like what was the flow की कैसे start किया कहाँ से start किया और कहाँ तक end किया?
हाँ, तो वही है कि I have done a bit of DSA and CP in my first year, but after which I was completely switched to the development. Okay,
हाँ,
so in the final year when this placement season started, and then at that time I was basically started doing the DSA. Like I knew that this is the tree, this is the English, this is how a
हाँ,
recursion works, but I have not explored that in depth. So
हाँ,
what I've done is I have gave basically I have done DSA for only 3 months, but consistently. Okay,
हाँ,
so you need to be consistent while preparing for something, right? If you have only 1 month, then give it a try and do everything and do solve the problems consistently. Okay, so that is something I have followed. Like I have done only 3 months, and after which I was able to crack couple of companies through that. And also, if you are a development guy, then like me, then also what I think is, if you are a computer geek or you love to solve, or if you love to do a tech stuff, and DSA is also the foundation of the computer, right? Computer engineering.
हाँ,
So you
right.
should never run from that. Okay, you should be always eager to explore the new stuff. Okay, DSA is
हाँ,
something, right? My flow was like RA. Okay, so RA I knew. Then do some hard and medium level problems on the lead code. So I'm not suggesting you to do the lead code. You can explore the best platform that is there, lead code, GFG, and everything. But I was doing the on the lead code. So yes, the RA. Then if you are doing, if you know RA very well, then you can go to stack and queues. Stack and queues are basically built from the RA as well. Like you need to just write an approach, right? So after which you can move to the linked list. Okay, linked list is one of the favorite topic of me that I have done so far. Okay, so linked list, and do as much as possible problems of linked list, because what
हम्म,
happens is when you move from the linked list to the tree is entirely, and basically each node, if you know, each node in the linked list is a doubly linked list, right? Sorry, each node
हाँ,
in the tree is a doubly linked list, where the node, where the previous node points to the its previous node, like the
previous.
previous, we have the pointer, and the next is pointing to its next node, right?
हाँ,
So if you are very good at a linked list, then you will never find a linked list, tree,
trees.
and hard to do. And after which,
Yeah.
if you still have the time, then do the
हम्म,
DP. Okay, DP is like the people are there who are basically doing this. कि DP बहुत hard है, but DP is not hard.
Hmm.
Basically, you know how to write an approach with the recursion using the tree, or the or the complexity which is very high. What you need to do in
हाँ.
the DP is you need to write an optimized approach. How we are going to
Hmm.
do is by doing memoization. Memoization
हाँ.
is nothing but a caching. So let's suppose I will give an example. Let's say you have a
Hmm.
2D array, and for each indices 0, comma 1, 0, comma 2, 0, comma 3, you have to
हाँ.
compute the unique paths to reach to that particular indices. Okay, let's suppose I for now I need to path the unique. I need to count a unique path to reach 3,3, and by the DP, what you will do is you will basically save the unique paths you account to
Hmm.
reach that basically the indices in an array or in any data structure. So for
हाँ.
that, you don't need to count or iterate each time for each of the indices. So what you are doing, you
Hmm.
are caching something.
हाँ.
Okay, so that is something is DP. So don't run from it. DP is very good topic. So that is something how the flow that I have followed, and also the about the programming language. Like I
हाँ.
have done the entire DSA using Python, and I have
Hmm.
seen there were a lot of YouTubers who told that don't go with the Python, either go with C or Java, sorry CPP or Java. So
हाँ.
I have done with the Python. So there is nothing like you can't do with this language or you can't do with this language. It's on you. Just if like the Python has a lot of inbuilt features, but don't rely on that. You need to know how a sorting works in the
Hmm.
backend, right? So how the Python
हाँ.
performs it, actually uh, how actually each of the algorithm works. Okay, in the
Hmm.
CPP or C, you have the pointers, but Python, you need to prepare a class, and each of the node in the tree is an instance of that class. So you are preparing an
हाँ.
object. So that is something you
हाँ.
have to do in the Python. So yeah, that is the flow I have followed. And after which, after 3 months of consistency, I have not done an DSA जितना वो टाइम किया था अभी नहीं करता मैं. तो वही है कि कंसिस्टेंटली करो अगर आपके पास कम टाइम हो फिर भी.
ओके. और डेवलपमेंट का कैसा मतलब आप लोग की क्या क्या कैसे एक्सप्लोर किया? तो जो
तो
हैकर रैंक में रोल था तो वहाँ पे कौन से टेक स्टैक पे आपने काम किया वगैरह?
तो हाँ, तो HackerRank में क्या है कि HackerRank has a lot of products, and I
हम्म.
was assigned to and their labs project. Labs project क्या करता है कि न्यू न्यू प्रोजेक्ट्स और फीचर्स ट्राई करते रहता है. अगर ये वर्क कर रहा है
ओके.
तो इसको कंटिन्यू करो, अगर नहीं वर्क कर रहा है तो मतलब बंद करो. तो
हाँ.
मैं हैकर रेज्यूमे करके एक प्रोजेक्ट है वो बेसिकली लाइव है, उस पे काम कर रहा था. एंड simultaneously also some other features was basically developing. तो टेक स्टैक जो मैंने किया था वो रिएक्ट एक्सप्रेस और थोड़ा बहुत पाइथन भी लिखा था वहाँ पे. तो वो है.
हाँ.
एंड बिफोर entering into the hackerrank I did not know how like a react works. बेसिक बेसिक
हम्म.
पता था, मैंने रिएक्ट में टू डू लिस्ट वगैरह बनाया था. बट
हाँ.
टू डू लिस्ट बनाना और एक्चुअली फीचर इंप्लीमेंट करना बहुत डिफरेंस है.
हाँ.
तो वो डिफिकल्टीज मैंने इनिशियल फेज में बहुत फेस की थी. पर फ्रॉम द
हम्म.
हैकरिंग आई लर्न अ लॉट, एंड द
हम्म.
advantages or the output that I received from the HackerRank is basically like I'm using it right now. Like how do you organize a folder structure, how production
हाँ.
environment works, and everything.
ओ.
So ये भी एक पॉइंट है कि अगर आपको मतलब सेकंड थर्ड ईयर में चांस मिलता है इंटर्नशिप वगैरह करना, तो डू अप्लाई फॉर इट एज वेल. इंटर्नशिप में बहुत सारा एक्सपीरियंस मिलता है.
सो हाँ, एक प्रॉपर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कैसे चीजें वर्क करती है.
हम्म.
सो वी
हम्म.
गेट आइडिया अबाउट दैट.
हम्म.
ओके. सो नाउ लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. सो अभी प्लेसमेंट सीजन चालू है. जस्ट से 2 to 3 months हो गए.
हम्म.
So how will you guide to the student who are applying for or the preparing for companies like media.net, NCR या जो कोई भी companies
हम्म.
अब आएगी. So what will you suggest to them कि क्या क्या do's है क्या don't है या आपके जो
हम्म.
experience है उसके हिसाब से.
तो फ्रॉम माई एक्सपीरियंस
Hmm.
the like if you for the let's go step by step
Ah,
for the OA.
yeah.
You if the certain company is asking you about the aptitude questions, like for Meta.net there were not that much aptitude questions.
Hmm.
So let's take an example for the aptitude question. So aptitude question is nothing but an when you were preparing for the JWCET. So
Ah,
this approach you should use here as well. बेसिकली आपको मैक्सिमम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है, तो उससे ही आपका
hmm.
हाथ बैठेगा. तो देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ वेबसाइट, इंडिया बिक्स वगैरह बहुत सारे वेबसाइट है, वहां पे मतलब अलग अलग टॉपिक रहेंगे, उसके मतलब मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चंस ट्राई करो सॉल्व करना.
Ah,
एंड ओए में मतलब कोडिंग क्वेश्चन वगैरह भी होता है. तो मेडोनेट में
ah,
दो क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे, एंड दोस क्वेश्चंस वाज वर टू इजी. Like if you have done a bit of CP in the by basically using the RA or some other stuff,
hmm.
like they have asked about only the RA, but that was too easy. तो वो है कि मतलब सीपी भी करो, बस डीएसए में करो. लीड कोड में क्या होता है कि वो डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन दे देते हैं, बट ओए में क्या होता
Hmm.
है कि वो एंटायर प्रॉब्लम होता है, राइट. एंड आपको
Ah,
उसको ब्रेक करके फिर टेस्ट केसेस पास करना होता है. तो वो है कि
ah,
मतलब लीड कोड यूज करो, और मतलब बाकी के भी प्लेटफॉर्म्स यूज करो, जैसे कोड शेफ, कोड फोकस, दो बेसिकली एक प्रॉब्लम देते हैं, उसको आपको उसमें आपको अप्लाई करना होता है डीएस, कौन सा डेटा स्ट्रक्चर आप यूज कर सकते हो. तो वो भी करो कि
ah,
एज मच एज पॉसिबल. अगर मतलब इसमें भी क्या प्ले टाइम मैनेजमेंट बहुत अच्छे से प्ले करेगा कि आप कैसे यूटिलाइज कर रहे हो आपको आपके टाइम को. Okay, and also if you are preparing for a certain company, then you should be basically search online that what are the questions they asked in the OA or in the interview. So accordingly you can prepare. Okay, तो
hmm.
वो है ओए के लिए. तो इंटरव्यू डीएसए वगैरह इंटरव्यू के लिए वही है कि आपके पास अगर एक महीना भी हो तो आप क्या करो, एक महीना मतलब पूरा लगा दो,
Hmm.
जितना टाइम है उतना लगा दो. एक महीने में मतलब आप ब्रेक डाउन करो कि मैं ये वीक में आर्य करूंगा, ये वीक में इंग्लिश करूंगा, ये वीक में ट्री करूंगा. एंड मैं बोलूंगा कि बस इजी टू मीडियम मत करो, हार्ड लेवल भी ट्राई करो. मतलब आप ये मत सोचो कि मैं कैसे छुटकारा पाऊंगा, आप मतलब वो प्रॉब्लम को फेस करने का भी ट्राई करो कि कैसे हार्ड वगैरह कर पाओगे. कि वो फिर बेसिकली इजी थोड़ा बहुत करो, ज्यादा से ज्यादा मीडियम ट्राई करो, और ऊपर से हार्ड भी
Ah,
ट्राई करो क्वेश्चंस.
hmm.
ये है. एंड बस डीएसए मत करो, कंप्यूटर फंडामेंटल्स भी करो, ओएससीएन, ये बहुत तगड़े टॉपिक्स है. मतलब आपको पढ़ना ही चाहिए. लोग बहुत बोलते हैं कि ये क्यों पूछते हैं, पर ये अगर आप टॉपिक्स पढ़ने लगोगे तो आपको बहुत समझ आएगा कि मतलब
Hmm.
कैशिंग कैशिंग तो मतलब इतना बेहतरीन टॉपिक है ओएस में. सो इफ यू
Ah,
विल जॉइन इनटू एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, कैशिंग इज समथिंग plays a very vital role, because
ah,
99 of 99.9% of data the organization tries to
hmm.
retrieve is using the caching. ओके, वो ट्राई करेंगी कि लेटेंसी कैसे कम करना है एंड नेटवर्क कॉल कैसे नहीं मारना है. तो वो है.
Ah,
अपन बस ओएस में पढ़ लिया कैशिंग ये है, पर कैशिंग बहुत वाइडर रोल प्ले करता है. सीपीयू के बारे में पढ़ो, लोड बैलेंस मतलब लोड सिस्टम डिजाइन, अगर आपके पास अगर टाइम होगा तो सिस्टम डिजाइन डिजाइन पैटर्न भी पढ़ सकते हो ऊपर ऊपर. सीएन पढ़ो, सीएन मतलब क्या, होपिंग क्या होता है, फिर
hmm.
टीसीपी एंड ओएसए मॉडल वगैरह क्या है, वो सब पढ़ो. क्योंकि ये सब जो रहेंगे वो इंटरव्यू पूछेंगे. उप्स पढ़ो, उप्स तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है. उप्स आप मतलब पढ़ना ही है. उप्स पढ़ो, और क्या कर सकते हो कि हाँ वो वही है. और फिर वही है कि डेवलपमेंट, अगर डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी आप अगर मतलब फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो तो उसमें आपका डेवलपमेंट भी होते जा रहा है, तो
Hmm.
साइमल्टेनियसली वो भी ट्राई करो. एंड
Right.
वन मोर थिंग दैट आई वांटेड टू हाईलाइट हियर इज कि आप
Hmm.
अगर कुछ कर रहे हो, मतलब सॉर्टिंग कर रहे हो या कुछ अल्गोरिदम लिख रहे हो या कुछ सिस्टम बना रहे हो, तो ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन द बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ दैट. बिकॉज मैंने ये देखा है, मैंने मतलब बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज अपेयर किए हैं, मैंने दिया है, तो मैंने ये देखा है कि वो लोग ना ज्यादा बेसिक बेसिक चीजें पे बहुत पूछते हैं, बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स पे. आप जैसे जैसे हाई लेवल टर्म्स यूज करते होगे, वो उसके बेसिक से आपको क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे, फिर फ्रॉम बेसिक टू एडवांस लेवल वो क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. तो बेसिक्स क्लियर करना
Hmm.
बहुत जरूरी है कि पॉइंटर कैसे वर्क करेगा.
Ah,
तो मैंने बोल दिया कि मैंने पॉइंटर यूज किया, मैंने बोल दिया मैंने क्लास यूज किया, वो क्या है
hmm.
वो बहुत पूछेंगे वो लोग. तो वो भी आपको ट्राई करना है
Right.
कि बेसिक डायरेक्ट जंप मत मारो, बेसिक चीजें भी करो. वो है.
Ah, right.
और बाकी क्या, कंसिस्टेंट रहो, पैनिक मत हो, कॉन्फिडेंट रहो.
Hmm.
वो है. एंड मतलब आप इंजीनियरिंग में 4 साल हो, मतलब अगर if you are junior then you have a lot of time, then do spend that time in while like developing the projects as well as do some DS and also enjoy. Okay, enjoy तो होना ही चाहिए,
हम्म,
पर प्रोजेक्ट्स भी
हाँ,
बनाओ। मतलब मैंने देखा है कि हमारे कॉलेज में ये कल्चर है कि लोग बहुत डीएसए करते थे, लोग
हम्म,
डेवलपमेंट में इतना ध्यान नहीं देते थे। तो डेवलपमेंट करना ही
हाँ,
चाहिए, क्योंकि डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिटी बहुत मायने रखती है। डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिटी इतनी बढ़ गई है कि आप ओपन सोर्स वगैरह करने जाओगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि डीएसए कितना कम है और डेवलपमेंट कितना मतलब वैल्यू रखता है। पैकेजेस
हाँ,
में फर्क रहेंगे, पर आप जब डेवलपमेंट करोगे तो अलग ही मजा आता है। आप टर्मिनल पे कुछ आउटपुट देख रहे हो या आप वेबसाइट पे कुछ तो देख रहे हो, वो जो वेबसाइट रहेगी वो आप डिप्लॉय करने जा
हाँ,
रहे हो एंड मल्टीपल लोग यूज करेंगे। तो ये कैसा मजा है।
हम्म,
तो ये भी करो,
राइट,
बस जैसे डीएसए मत करो, डेवलपमेंट भी करो, वही है।
हाँ, ओके,
यस।
सो या सो या ऑडियंस को मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि अमन ने एक वेबसाइट जो लाइव है जिसपे अच्छे खासे यूजर्स आते हैं, सो आई एम ड्रॉपिंग दिस लिंक इन डिस्क्रिप्शन, यू गाइस कैन check that link, or you can take inspiration from his project, how you can do a similar kind of uh, uh, stuff which will help others also. Yeah.
एंड अगर आपको मुझे रीच आउट करना है तो मैं ट्विटर, लिंक्डइन, मतलब ये दोनों प्लेटफॉर्म पे
हाँ,
बहुत एक्टिव होता हूँ। तो यू कैन ड्रॉप मी अ मैसेज, आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट टू रिप्लाई देयर एज वेल।
okay.
यस।
So yeah, कोई भी डाउट्स हो कुछ भी हो, you guys can reach out to him. I'm also dropping all his social links in description. So yeah. So yeah, thank you, Amar. So it was a very insightful session,
यस। या थैंक यू,
and
थैंक यू।
yeah, audience को बहुत ही help होगा इससे. Yeah, great.